Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. We have our next guest joining us, and it's always a pleasure to see her and hang out a little bit. And this time we're talking design.
Absolutely. Jillian Harris, of course, is an interior designer and host of Extreme Makeover Home Edition. How are you?
I'm great. I'm crazy busy right now because I'm actually getting ready to leave for Extreme Makeover Home.
When does your first episode? Has your first episode aired? It hasn't.
I've done 4 actually already, and I'm leaving again Monday, and I'm going to film another 3.
Do you know where you're going, or?
No, I can't say. Oh my gosh, I was just about going. I can't.
You should understand how this works. How intense is it when you sort of like from the moment the wheels touch down to the finished sort of product on Extreme Home Makeover? Because it's just the pace
so
is
fast.
bizarre.
It's chaotic, but really, I mean, if you're hanging out with like Ty and Michael Maloney and everybody's got lots of big energy and everybody's so passionate about it, but for real, it's like 16-hour days every day. And people, like, when I come to work in the morning, I literally find like volunteers sleeping under the table and sleeping under the bed. Yeah, so it's pretty intense.
A little bit intense.
Just like at home.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
the same idea.
Now, you brought some great stuff with you today, and we're gonna start off talking about a chair that you found and you transformed. So first of all, let's look at the before picture of this chair.
Isn't it
about this?
I loved it before, but look at it now.
Look at it now.
Look at it
now. What did you love about this chair, Jillian?
Well,
is it the shape, the design?
Yeah, I think everything. I mean, one of the things I love about design trends right now is, you know, we all talk about being sustainable. That's still a huge thing in design trends. But the thing that we used to find was sustainable is everything was always like a little bit understated and modern and
boring.
A little bit boring. And you know, boring is great for some people, but for me, I love a lot of different textures and styles, and I love a little bit of a traditional touch. So now we're finding all these trends where you can find, you know, old. You can find these old, or you can find them new. This one I found old at an antique store out in New West. I think I got it for like $45. Had my dad paint it in the garage, and then just had it.
Go down.
You know, that's what dads are for, right?
And I reupholstered it, and that, you know, you could get that now if you go to a high-end design store for $2,000.
And what a great color that you've done. I mean, what a statement piece you could have in one room.
Exactly.
Just the bright, happy thing.
And I think sort of combining that old world lines, you know, I've got the cane back, something that you'd see in the 70s with a really modern punch of color. Yeah. I think it's something that we're seeing.
Well, and a great way to approach sustainability, right?
Exactly.
Take something that exists already and just put your touches
and going with that, we're seeing a lot of burlap, which is really cool. This is my favorite pillow. It's from Sugar Boo Designs.
That's really cute.
Yeah, and all of their stuff is made from either burlap or reclaimed wood or salvaged metal, and it really adds just a little.
What kind of nap lines are you going to have after you lay down on that for an hour?
You don't, because it wasn't cheap, so don't nap on
your face on that.
A little bit of drool, it'll be
Even though it's burlap, it wasn't cheap. But what is cheap are these glasses, these old bottles here. You can get old Coke bottles or old mason jars. And there's a lot of really fun things we can do with it. And I think we've got a picture there if we want to see.
Okay, let's look at the picture.
We did. Yeah, so you got apothecary jars and some old jars, and you can really make it look very feminine, and it has a lot of layers.
And it gives you a nice theme and great conversation pieces too, because you're getting antiques in there.
Exactly. These I actually found at an antique store, but everybody's got a grandma or a grandpa, and everybody's got an attic that they can.
And they jar stuff.
And they jar stuff, grandmas and grandpas. So finding it there, and old books are huge right now. Old books are great. I got these all for like $1 each at the same antique store in New West, and you know, I just think they just add such a warmth to your home. Again,
they really do.
You're supporting local vendors, and of course, it's sustainable because they've been around for 100 years or more.
Well, and they just have that beautiful look to them too, right? You know, they've lived.
Exactly.
And let's talk about this little scenario.
This is actually from the Cross. It's a sort of a cheese platter, and it's obviously a reclaimed piece of wood. Yeah. But again, it's really great. It's really warm. It's current. It's reclaimed, and it's just great conversation piece.
It's a beautiful piece of wood.
And the clocks on top of it. Clocks and balls.
Now, Mike would wear this as a necklace.
Yeah. So there we go. But what are these? They're so heavy. I mean, obviously they're old.
Yeah, they're very old. Now, okay, so this is what I was saying to you guys before is, you know, consumers have their option. If they don't have time to go antiquing, which I personally love, and I swear I'm going to take you guys with me one time.
Okay, it's on.
It is a really a lot of fun.
You mentioned antiquing, and I started to actually nod off.
No, it's really fun. So yeah, and I was saying, like, Ed actually found that trunk for me when we lived in Chicago, and we'll talk a bit about that later. And so it actually can be fun, but if you don't want to go antiquing, things like this, you know, these are from Country Furniture. This is from the Cross. These are actually from France. So what vendors are doing now is they're actually hiring buyers to go out and find these individual pieces.
And source the great pieces.
And so you know, people, I think, are tired of being pushed by companies having cookie cutter items, and everybody's got the same piece, and people want something with a story. They still want to save money. They just want that touch of home, and I think people are just going back there. Speaking of going back there,
the
Grandma
resurgent of the granny fabric.
This is actually called iCat, and it's sort of a 70s.
This is a funky grandma. I think my grandma had a muumuu made out of this.
Yes,
wow.
yeah. And iCat is so huge right now, as are florals and silks and embroidery. And
what do you use this stuff on, though? Like chairs or?
Yeah, I think what I would do actually is I've got a really graphic pattern on that chair there, but I would do a throw pillow in that.
And match the color to that, yeah.
Exactly, and mixing patterns, mixing bold graphic and geometric patterns with a really pretty floral
Mike,
is
you're
okay.
terrified of this, aren't you?
I'm not terrified of it. See, the problem is I would need to hire someone who understood what they did. That's
I'm available.
Yeah,
I'm available.
Duh. Okay, my mama says all you need is good lighting, and we have some great lighting here today. Let's look at the picture first. Tell us about the photo.
This is from Restoration Hardware, and I really love what they're doing right now. I really feel like they have really kicked off this whole like reclaim movement.
Yeah.
They have a lot of things that are salvaged and found, and everything looks like it's one of a kind.
All their lighting's all low now in the store.
I think it's really so moody and so sexy.
And I love this industrial look that you've got here today.
Yeah, these are called, I call them cage lamps. I've heard them called rescue bulbs as well, but they're an old filament bulb. And if you don't actually want to make your fixture look this industrial, you can actually replace a bulb, an exposed bulb in your place just with a filament bulb. And you know, it's really expensive if you've got a restaurant or if you just want to, you know, whip one room into shape to hang a couple of these.
Yeah, they're really cool.
It's a no-brainer, and I think it really adds to that sort of industrial feel. Yeah.
Very cool.
Okay, let's talk about this trunk. You said that Ed
trunk
found this for you, and it has your initials on the top top already.
This is when he.
That's almost creepy.
I know, isn't it?
Don't tell me that your middle name is M too.
Mine, Jillian Marie Harris.
You are kidding me.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Creepy.
But this is the great thing. You know, you can go to these antique malls and antique stores, and you will find something that you can relate to. You'll find something that, you know, I found an old.
There's something in there. No, I'm kidding.
It's Ed.
Isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
But this is one of my favorite pieces, and it tells a story, and it's obviously been around forever.
Like, get your head out of the shop.
I'm looking, the weekly review from 1829.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Okay, we've got a photo of how you could do something like
Justin
this.
Bieber's in here. No. That's so weird.
Tell us about this room here.
This is, again, a Restoration Hardware, which I'm obviously a huge fan.
They're map hangings right now.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Really
Old
cool.
globes are really huge right now. So my biggest thing, if I would just tell people, I would encourage them, the more you go out there and antique and actually, you know, you communicate with your community and with your family and grab a coffee and take a deep breath, that's what I would suggest. If you're a little high-strung and maybe you
don't telling people who are high-strung to like take a breath?
No, if you are and you actually don't want to go antiquing, there are, you know, some great vendors around. You know, I'm obviously a big fan of the cross-country furniture. You know, these are some great fabrics from Crown Wallpaper, Sugar Boo. You can get those looks. Home Sense.
Well,
is a
and
great
even
look.
to use them as an inspiration and a jumping-off point, right? So you go in there and you get
Jillian,
an idea
I
what
think
you really like.
need to take me and Mike antiquing.
Yes.
So that we can make him learn to love it.
You will love it.
I am bringing my PSP. That's all I'm saying.
No, you're not. There are rules on this trip, sweetheart.
So if you want to watch Extreme Makeover Home Edition, of course you can. The new season is on. And if you want to know more about Jillian, you can go to her website to find out all the information. We're going to take a quick break.
On your birthday, I'm popping out of this trunk naked.
Actually, it was just my birthday 2 days ago, so do you want to get started on that now?
Let's do this.
Yeah, right after the break.
Happy birthday to you.